I'm a 304. Of course, I told the trick 15 minutes and I put the timer on for 5.
I'm a 304. Of course, I'm a renegade, and I don't care. Pay me that.
I'm a 304. Of course, I'm tucking.
Hope y'all folks don't see that.
Hey y'all, happy hump day. Welcome back to my channel. While you are here, go ahead and show me some love by liking the video and hitting subscribe if you are feeling the vibe. Those already know who watched the last video. We are on our journey to 11K. So I'm definitely trying to reach 11,000 within the next few months. So thank you for all your love and support. As many of you guys know, I have my personal channel. That's just a channel for those who want to know the content creator behind the content. I also do have my social media, which is Zodiac Zena. Y'all see that on the right, that picture, the bottom there. It shows you I've had some of y'all follow me. So definitely feel free to follow me on social media if you want to. But yeah, that channel is for that. I have story time. I have life updates after divorce. I have some vlogs, day in the life. Y'all know I post the remote jobs Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Fridays specifically, I post non-phone jobs. So if you are looking for remote work or you know someone looking for remote work, definitely feel free to follow my personal channel. That will be linked in the comments below. If you are wanting to attract love in your life, if you feel like this dating pool is giving very much trash and you're like, man, I just keep finding the same people over and over again, same relationships, etc., definitely watch my video on how I manifested my fiance, because I tell you my story on how, as a divorced mom of 3, I was able to manifest my fiance within 9 months of dating. There are certain spiritual techniques that you have to do. So if you're ready for that, then go ahead and do it. But I will warn you, it is not for people who do not want to take accountability and do not want change in their life. Okay. So my personal channel will be linked in the comments below. Now, today's video, y'all. This is going to be 304 diaries, y'all. And y'all know I posted a 304 video before, so we'll see how YouTube loves this or not. But there are going to be certain little term words that are used in this video that you might not understand. Okay, so look at the screen. Those are the code words. That's what it means, because they don't say the full word. Okay, so go ahead and watch the content creators. I'll be back at the end with my commentary.
Okay, y'all, so I ain't gonna lie, I am so excited about this 304 appointment that I got coming up, like literally in an hour. So the older guy, he just gave me a call. He was like, he got like 10 older guys, you know, waiting at the house for me with his friends in front of him. So basically, long story short, y'all, he wanna see me get down with all 9 of his friends. So basically, when I get there, he gonna watch me, you know, perform. I'm very excited because, y'all, I just love ding ding. Like, I just love it so bad. Like, I be going crazy. So 9 of them in a row, like, what? That just mean I get to get different feelings, different links, different textures, you know, all of that good stuff. So like, I am really excited to try this out. Like, I am. And then when I'm done with, you know, that's when all 9 of them gonna watch me perform on him, the main character. And I'm gonna go crazy. Like, oh, and he requested me to take the number 222 on his face. They gonna be able to see that too. And yeah. And I just left the clinic and I just got my head did, y'all. Y'all can't really see, but y'all, I just left the clinic too, and they said I'm good. Like, so y'all don't think I'm gonna go crazy. But here's the thing though, I don't like using, you know, pro shit. We gonna go, you know, raw doggy. And these be good. Like, I don't think they gonna, you know, give me something I can't get rid of. But yeah, so the only, you know, downside about that is I get more money if I do it without it. So you don't think I'm gonna choose that route, but I'm just gonna have to go to the again and get tested again. But I'm gonna be good. Y'all know how many times I've been through this. Like, girl, a girl is good over here. I just need that money.
So there's a conversation that I want to have regarding 304 talk and the SW community, because I see my DMs and I see the stuff that y'all are saying, and I think a lot of y'all are getting easily influenced from what you see from other creators who make it seem like being an SW is easy, quick money. It's quick money, but it's far from easy. So, like, I just want to leave you with a couple of things to think about before you decide to jump into something just because you feel like it'll get you out of that bind quickly. The last time that a man assaulted you, how did that make you feel? How long did it take you to recover from that event? Think about that. The last time you put in a situation with a man who was constantly trying to coerce you into doing something that you did not want to do, how did you handle it? Do you feel like you handled it the right way? Like a way that it was effective for you in your mental? Or did you just let him control the situation, do what he wanted, and then after the fact, you just were helpless, feeling like you should have done more? If somebody posted on Facebook right now that you were an SW and your whole family and the church that you grew up in, all those people found out that you were an SW, how would you feel about that? How would you take that? Do you think you would be able to recover from that moment?
Story time on how I got from my client as a 304. So the story started, so this guy hit me up and he wanted to say, what are your rates and stuff? I said it's $450 with a condom. So he said, okay, that's fine with the price. And I went to him. I said, hey, how are you and stuff. I make sure that I asked them if they're clean or not, but it doesn't even matter at the point because they're going to lie anyways. He told me he was clean and he didn't. I told him you have to put a condom on, and I saw him put it on. But then when he put it in, he took it off and I didn't know. And then and then I felt something wet inside me and I thought, oh, damn. And then I got tested like the next month and I found out it was like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I just want to end the video because like it's just so sad.
Yeah. But anyways, this is story time on how I became a 304. Let's start from the beginning. Now, my dad raised me from, a baby basically until the age of 9. He was a single parent, and the reason he raised me till the age of 9 was because he developed his own addiction issues. And the reason he was a single parent was because my mom had her own addiction issues pretty much the entirety of all of her children's lives. And I have 4 older brothers. She was a wild card, which is why her nickname was Storm. My nickname is also Storm, but I am not even close to being as bad as she was, like, at all. And that's to say the least. But since my dad developed addiction issues when I was 9, he decided to basically drop me off at my aunt's house one day and never come back. And I know, as bad as that sounds, I'm actually kind of glad he did that, because if I ended up in the system, I would be way more than I am today. But I just want to say that when he was taking care of me, he was completely sober, and he was the best dad I could possibly ask for. Like, that was my best friend, period. Now, when I first started living with my aunt, everything was great. Like, me and her got along, like, perfectly. And obviously, as I started getting older, you start to see past the facade that your parents or guardian put up to, I guess, protect you from or just hide from you in general. I ended up realizing that she also had addiction issues, but with her, it was just alcohol. And she was not the alcoholic that was fun. She was the type that liked to argue and start fights for literally no reason. So eventually, me and her relationship just it struggled, to say the least, and we argued a lot, and it went downhill really bad. In the midst of me growing up with her, I had only seen my father a handful of times. Some of them he was sober, some of them he wasn't. I saw my mom even less than that. I don't know if she was sober or not when I was with her, but eventually she passed away from cancer when I was 12. Now, the last time I had seen my father sober was when I was 15. And after that, he kind of just disappeared. Me and my aunt's relationship had gotten so bad that she basically kicked me out when I was like 18, 19. And when she did, she gave me my father's address because I guess she found him again. And I went to go and find him. And he was not sober, of course. But I mean, hey, I needed somewhere to stay. And so he took me in, and like our relationship was almost as if, we never missed a beat. It was like I had my best friend again, but he just wasn't sober. Until one day we got into an argument, and I think it was honestly, part of it had to do because he was withdrawing, and anybody that has experienced someone in withdrawal, they are not the best, person at that time. Their attitude is terrible. They're very irritable, agitated very easily, etc., etc. And so he decided to kick me out. And honestly, while I was with him, I was dating someone at the time, and me and the person that I was dating, we had already been talking about, moving to LA. I kind of had a big dream. I was an artist before this. I went to school for music, so I wanted to pursue music. And when he kicked me out, that kind of just gave me like, that kind of was the catalyst for me to just, be like, let's go. But something told me, it was, I don't know what it was, but my intuition was just like, girl, when you leave, something bad is going to happen. And me being me, of course, I didn't listen to my intuition. And 4 months after I left, my dad and my aunt passed away. He died in March, on March 7th, and she died a week down to the day after he did. And that was his sister. Months into me being in LA, me and the person that I was dating broke up. So I was literally out there like just by myself figuring it out. No family, no. And with my sickle cell, it's literally impossible for me to keep and hold a job. I'm literally in the hospital every single month, if not every other month. I was literally in the hospital last month for the entire month, and now I'm back here again. So I thought about all the things that I was good at, and two things that I was always good at my entire life was singing and dancing. So I decided to audition at a strip club, and that's kind of where I got introduced to the game, which is another reason my family calls me Storm, because that's exactly how my mom got, introduced to the game and a lot of other stuff. She left for LA and started stripping and got introduced to the game, and so it's kind of the same story, but hers was a lot more brutal than mine. I was, I think, divinely protected. I think that's kind of why my family had to pass in a way, was so that I could be, I could have guardian angels. I took all the knowledge I learned about the game, and thank God I got free game while I was out there, and I brought it back with me out here to Boston, because one thing I'll admit is I am not like them LA out there. I'm sorry, I'm not a blade girl, I'm an ad girl, 100%. Shout out to the girls that work off out there, for real. I hand it to y'all. I can't do that. Pretty good. Like I said, I got sickle cell, so I can't be out there walking all damn day especially in the cold and the rain. Like, they really be out there getting to it, no matter what. Now, before y'all try and throw that in my face, like, oh, see, this is why she got into it, blah, 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 she has mommy and daddy issues. Yes, I do have mommy and daddy issues, of course, but that has nothing to do with it. I was raised very, very, very well. My aunt was not the only, parental guidance I had in the house. I had a mother and a father figure. My uncle was there, and they had a beautiful relationship. I try to model my own relationships after their relationship. So I definitely had a mother and father figure. And before y'all also try to throw that whole, oh, do you think they would be okay with it and proud of you, da 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 da. First of all, when I was living with my dad, he found a ton of condoms in my bag, and this was before I even knew about this business. I literally knew nothing about it besides seeing a movie. And when he found those condoms, he was like, are you on Backpage? I mean, like, if you are, it's okay, because I still love and I support you, but, I just want to know. And I literally had no idea what the hell he was talking about. I didn't know anything about Backpage. I didn't know a thing. And he was actually, like, surprised and also kind of disappointed, I think, because, like, he thought that meant, like, I didn't have any kind of street smarts or whatsoever. But, like, I'm just like, Dad, you should be proud of me. Like, low-key, maybe. And like I said, my mom basically went down the same route I did, so. But yeah, that's basically how I got into all this shenanigans. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
304s in this generation have lost the art of discretion. Part of the reason why you hire a 304 is because of the privacy. They leave. They are done afterwards. It's not supposed to go and integrate into your normal life. Charlie Sheen, which is like an awful person, was quoted saying that he doesn't pay 304s for the smexy. He pays them to leave. But I feel like every week I go on the internet and there's a 304 talking about how she's exposing one of her clients, or how this artist flew her out to Mexico and then his girlfriend was there, or how this athlete flew her out and then now blah, 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 or when I was getting pregnant. And I'm like, as a businesswoman, doesn't this hinder your work or your clientele? Because, hear me out again, I feel like the discretion and the privacy is the premium that these clients are paying for. So if you're always posing or you're a threat to their privacy or their day-to-day life, you're not doing your job well, I mean, obviously the service is one part of it, but the second part of it is the discretion. But it feels like every week someone's trying to go viral or expose somebody, and I'm like, dude, that's going to long-term affect your clientele, because people are not going to want to hire you if they're going to risk being exposed by you. And I also don't think that trapping somebody with a baby, I mean, it's a long-term play, don't get me wrong, but it's like, that's a baby. Like, that's a child. Let's not traffic with that. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, but that's just been something that's brewing in the back of my mind. I'm like, there's no way this is good for business if you long-term are exposing your clients, or they're running the risk of having their privacy exposed if they're paying a premium to have your discretion. Let me know your thoughts.
Y'all, I hope that they really never fully ban TikTok, because I just love the openness and the transparency of TikTok, even X. And I hope that all platforms become this way, because kids ain't got no business being on them anyway. Like, if they are going to do it, then I feel like they should have a 17 and under for these platforms, and then an 18 and up, because I love that we can just see all of these things, hear all of these things, unfiltered. I actually love that, because people who are thinking about doing something, let's say, for example, like stripping, they might not know what goes on behind closed doors. And hearing videos like this will probably help them, like, okay, well, I'll do this and she experienced this, and I'll do something better, or I'll do this, or I'll be more aware. Like, we don't know unless we hear, and we definitely don't know if we never experienced it. So shout out to all the content creators who share their business online, especially in areas like this that can be very dangerous, because I feel like people need to hear the truth and the reality behind it, because as we know, it's so glamorized. It's glamorized on social media, it's glamorized in the music, and people just think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and get a Birkin. Like, I seen this post on Facebook going viral where this girl was like, my PUSSY bought me this truck, you know what I mean? And like, it was going viral. So like, people think that that's okay and that that's all that it comes with, and there is no risk to that. Like girls who are young minded and, and delusional and stuff like that. They don't look at all of the things that come with this. Okay. So shout out to y'all who keep it real and try to help other people and put them on real game to keep them safe if they are going to do stuff like this. Anytime that I post videos like this, our stripper diaries, our bottle girl chronicles or diaries, our sugar babies, all of this is for this same reason of no judgment, do what you want to do, but let's inform people the reality that goes on behind closed doors of what may happen and how to keep them safe if they are going to do something like this. So for that, the story with the black girl who had the bun on her head, who was talking about how she became a 304 who has sickle cell. And by the way, that patch on her chest, that is because she has sickle cell. I can't really judge her because she's sick. So no judgment towards her and no judgment towards her parents or anything like that. But I do have some concerns naturally, like listening to that story. And those of you who follow me already know, most of you anyway, that my background education is in psychology. I have a very high passion for young girls, adolescent girls who are like mentally, emotionally lost, who are troubled. I've worked in a troubled group home for quite some time and read the records of these girls and all the trauma that they went through. And, I was that way myself when I was in my teenage years. I had a lot of issues growing up without a father. So I dedicated a lot of passion to that. I wrote a book on that. So I know a lot about the single parent dynamic and the low vibrational world and just all of these things. And hearing her story, the thing that concerns me is that it seems like she may not recognize her own trauma. The reason I say this is because she said, I know what y'all gonna say, that I'm doing this because I have mommy and daddy issues and that has nothing to do with what I'm doing and just, things of that nature. And I would have to say I disagree. And again, it doesn't have to be specifically to her in her case. I'm just going based off of what I hear. I obviously did not live the life that she lived with her aunt and with her dad and all of that. Okay. I'm just saying based off of what I heard. Okay. I would say based off what I heard, I disagree. And also because of what statistics show us. Okay. So having a active mother actually, let me first say this because she said this. Having a mother and father figure growing up with that is not the same as having a healthy two-parent active household. And too many people don't know the difference of that. See, they'll force a relationship that's toxic just because they're like, oh, well, we have kids and my kids need both parents in the household. Absolutely. But they need both healthy parents in the household. Anything that is not healthy going on in the household, 9 times out of 10 is going to cause more damage to that child versus not. Okay. So if you are keeping a broken, toxic household together just because you think that's going to give your children a better outcome, then actually you're wrong. Okay. It's actually better for your child to have 2 healthy, happy parents separate than 2 broken, toxic, low vibrational parents in the same household. Okay. So I think that people confuse that. So with her saying that like, oh, I had that figure in front of me, like with my auntie, and I don't obviously know all the ins and outs with her auntie in that relationship. She didn't go that much into it, but how healthy can her relationship be, the auntie, if there was addiction involved? Like you said, she was an addict. So I'm just curious, like how healthy do you think that was? Because anytime you are addicted to something, you are operated in a low vibration. Why do you think that every time that she went from household to household with these people who are suffering from addictions, why you think it never worked out? Why you think you kept getting into arguments with them? It's because they are operating in a low vibration. And guess what? When you're in a low vibration environment with low frequencies, it's not going to be successful. It's not going to be happy in the household. It's not going to be peaceful in that household, point blank, period. Does not matter. Because if you have to be addicted to something to face life every day, then baby, you are in a low vibration. You're in a low frequency and nothing good comes with low frequency and low vibrational people. And I know a lot of people kind of hate to face the reality of that, but that is the truth. And the truth is that I personally feel like her parents failed her. It's a reason that statistics show that children who grow up in a two-parent healthy active household have better outcomes. There's a reason for that. Let's talk about the role of the father and the mother. I speak a lot about this on my Fatherless Daughters playlist. Anybody interested in that, it is on my playlist. You just got to go to my channel and go to my playlist. And I have like 3 or even 4 parts to that series, to where I go in depth and talk about the different type of mothers who fall into this category, and how girls who grew up without their father, they have to be loved a different kind of way. They have to be taught a different kind of way. See, people don't realize this. It's a lot to it. So I create a whole playlist on it and all of that, okay? But let's talk about that role. So when you grow up, and keep in mind, a fatherless daughter does not mean that the father physically is in the household with you. That does not mean that, okay? If your father did not give you what you needed mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, then you could be a fatherless daughter. Every case is different, but you could be a fatherless daughter. You know how many girls reached out to me personally after they found out I wrote a book on it and all this kind of stuff, who said, my dad was physically in the household, but mentally and emotionally, he was not in the household. He was always working. He was always going on business trips and all of that. He was not there for my mother, for us as a family. We never seen him. We never got to know him. I could barely talk to him on the phone and hold conversations. He would keep it short with me. So I really am mentally messed up from that. Let me tell y'all why. The role of the father is to show his daughter what true masculine healthy love looks like. He is supposed to show her what it's like to be protected for, provided for from a man, how to live with the man, okay? How to properly find her husband, okay, in a healthy manner. Girls who have this are way more likely to successfully partner up with somebody to where it's not a toxic relationship, get married, have children, etc., because they seen what that was supposed to be like in their household. And the role of the mother for that daughter is to show her what it is like to live with a man. Like, okay, this is your role as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. Here is how you nurture healthily. Here is how, if we get into a disagreement, this is what you do as a woman for a healthy manner. You know, like, she's supposed to show her all these things. This is how you dress. This is how you represent yourself as a woman. Again, very important factors. She didn't have the role of her mother at all. Now, I will say, it's different for women versus men. Men who don't have their mother, they have issues romantically, because she was supposed to show him what the father shows the daughter, okay? And then the father is supposed to show him how to be a man, okay? So it's different for each gender. But for her, particularly in this story, she didn't have the mother at all. So the mother did not show her what she was supposed to show her. You know, at the end, she's like, you know, and to those saying that they wouldn't approve, you know, my mom used to do this. Just because your mom did that, it does not mean that she would also approve you to do it, especially because look at what it did to her. I know a lot of women, including myself, to where I would never want my children to repeat my same mistakes. So just because your mother did it, baby girl, it does not mean she wants you to do it. If anything, she probably gonna be like, look, I lived that life, baby. Do not do it. You know how many men be in the streets and tell their kids, look, do not do this. Don't go in the streets like me. Don't do this because this is what I face. We're supposed to make those mistakes to show our kids better and to do better. And it goes on and on and on. So, you know, I don't agree that if her mother was alive, well, and her normal self, being not under any type of substance and stuff like that, I don't think that she would agree with it. But again, it's not my mom. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I don't think a good mother would want their kids to repeat the same mistakes that they did. Okay. So, I feel like that is a huge part of why she's doing what she's doing. And I feel like she really does not realize that, because again, I feel like she has not recognized her own trauma. See, a lot of people who grow up like this, to where one of the parents is missing, or even both of the parents are missing, or they suffer from some type of addiction, etc., then they start to gain all type of issues internally, mental health issues, all kind of traumas, abandonment issues, trust issues. And this cycle unfortunately goes on and on with relationship to relationship. They never work. It's the same cycle over and over again, because that's what they keep attracting. because they're in this low frequency, they're in this low vibration. And I don't know if she has already gotten or not, but she definitely needs therapy, intense therapy, and she probably needs it for quite some time. And she definitely, if she hasn't already, has to start her spiritual journey. It does seem like she does have some type of spiritual insight, which is good. But I will tell you, if you are not honest with yourself, then that will hint your spiritual growth. It's okay to say, my parents failed me, and I feel like, again, especially since her father passed, she doesn't really want to do that because it probably hurts her to say that. But in order to grow, sometimes you have to address those things, okay? We all know Oprah's best friend, what is it, Ayanna? You hear her when she talk to people. She be straight up like, you need to say how you feel. Your father failed you. Your mother failed you. And with her, I feel like she needs some deep talks like that with Ayala. Is it Ayanna or Ayala? Y'all know who I'm talking about, though, okay? So same thing, like your parents, unfortunately, they did fail you. You needed them in ways that you don't even still recognize. You needed them in ways that's going to 9 times out of 10 affect your relationships that you have romantically. So I usually don't like including a lot of cursing with videos that in these TikTok compilations, because there's a lot of editing I had to do. So as y'all see, she did cuss quite a bit, but it was important for us to listen to this because a lot of these girls all have the same story. A lot of these girls have a lot of trauma internally. So I just hope that she is able to recognize that that this does affect her and the decisions that she makes. And the reason we know this is because, again, statistics show us, people who grow up in a 2-parent heavy on the healthy, active household are way less likely to do something like she's doing. I promise you that. Okay. So it's important that we recognize these things so we can do better. For her, I've worked in the claims industry for a while. I've worked with people who have been really, really sick, for critical illness to FMLA, short-term disability accommodations, Medicare, etc. And she is right, and I do believe her when it comes to trying to find a job that can help her when it comes to, being able to find a job when she's as sick as she is. So I have had cases to where people were frustrated because they were afraid that their job was going to fire them, because FMLA will only cover you up to 12 weeks. Even intermittently, once you reach those 12 weeks, like, you're not legally protected, so will they fire you? Sometimes not, if you're a good worker, but can they? Absolutely. Okay, so I understand her and I can't judge her on that since she is sick, but I will say it's important to keep in mind that being a part of the night lifestyle does attract a lot of low vibrational people. I would get completely out of that and do a complete clear spiritual cleanse. Her best bet financially, I would say, is to, first of all, you can work from home. I always post positions where you can make your own schedule. You are not legally obligated to work any type of hours and days. So if you do something like, for example, Omni Interactions or even Everrise, stuff like that, you can create your own schedule. So if you can't come in for a month straight, then guess what? It's not like you're going to get fired because you're your contractor. So her best bet is to get a contracting role where she can work remotely, because even if she's in the hospital doesn't mean she can't work if she has a laptop. You know what I mean? So that is her best bet. Or getting popular on social media, starting a YouTube so you can make money passively, getting a business. At least if you are in that night industry, get enough money to where you can invest in some properties or something that's going to make you money passively and long term, so that if you are sick, again, that's not going to affect you from financially being able to provide for yourself. I'm just concerned about safety reasons. You know what I mean? To not stay in that long term with her being sick, she definitely has to come up with the plan. And then when it comes to the last story, I definitely agree with the whole discreet thing. People just don't care about being discreet no more. Like, they just do not care. This used to be a discreet thing. People used to be ashamed of it, but now you have people happily rapping about it. So, it is unfortunate, but I mean, it just is what it is. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one.